If you didn't catch the movie's 2025 Super Bowl teaser, the live-action Lilo and Stitch remake will hit theaters on May 23rd, 2025. What else do we know about the remake? In her first on-screen starring role, Maia Kealoha leads the cast as Lilo Fellipe, and Chris Sanders, the brains behind the original film, will reprise his role as Stitch. Meanwhile, On My Block's Sydney Agudong will play Nani, Lilo's big sister and legal guardian. Nani will be courted by the surfer David, played by Magnum PI's Kaupo Dudoi, who's also the grandson of Nani and Lilo's neighbor, Tutu. A new character in the cast, Tutu will be played by Amy Hill, who previously played Mrs. Hasagawa in the original animated feature. And another new character is Mrs. Kekoa, a social worker charged with monitoring Lilo and Nani. Mrs. Kekoa will be played by Tia Carrere, the original voice of Nani in 2002's Lilo and Stitch. And let's not forget Cobra Bubbles, played by American Crime Story's Courtney B. Vance. Cobra Bubbles was the original social worker in the animated film. Meanwhile, comedian Zach Galifianakis is also in the cast as Dr. Jumba Jalkaba, who created Stitch in a lab, and he'll be partnered with Billy Magnuson as Pleakley, a Plorganarian and alien Earth expert who works for the United Galactic Federation. Last but not the least, it's confirmed via Lilo and Stitch's IMDb page that Hannah Waddingham will play the Grand Councilwoman. She's the one who commands Jumba and Pleakley to retrieve Stitch. Curiously, the Shaylik Captain Gantu is not in the cast. And this brings us to our next topic. It's currently unknown how much of the original story will be adopted for the remake, but it's expected to retain the core premise. The genetically engineered Stitch arrives on Earth to cause havoc and evade galactic authorities until he finds a new family in Lilo and Nani. However, with Captain Gantu missing from the film, it's likely that another alien in the cast will take his place as the arrogant villain. The live-action remake could also include Experiment 221 aka Sparky from Stitch, the movie. After all, though the movie is based on Chris Sanders' original movie, Sanders himself didn't pen the script. Instead of Sanders and Dean DeBlois, the screenplay for the remake was co-written by Chris Kekeniokalani Bright and Mike Van Ways. While the live-action Lilo and Stitch is the first full-feature script written by Bright, Van Ways notably penned the 2023 thriller Dear David. Meanwhile, the movie is directed by Dean Fleischer Camp, co-creator and director of Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. And while Sanders has relinquished his post as writer and director, his involvement as the voice of Stitch indicates that the remake will be an improvement upon the original movie. The trailer is fun, but it doesn't reveal any real clues about what to expect. So what kind of changes to the plot do you expect to see in the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch? Tell us your thoughts in the comments and keep watching ScreenRant.